Meta is now rolling out paid verification subscriptions for Instagram and Facebook users. Super similar to what Twitter released back in the fall of 2022. So I wanted to take a look at the stock chart of Meta and see where it is now, where it is compared to the forecast I recently made on it, and what we can expect in the days and weeks ahead. So what you have here is my chart of Meta in my skinny on Meta. So it's a skinny on the mini style report that I did here on the weekend of January 6th. So as of Friday, January 6th close, I worked on this report and shared it until Monday, January 9th. Now what I shared in the report was a forecast for Meta to trade higher into January 30th. And I used my loss forecasting techniques for that. The thing is that a forecast, as per my techniques, just provides a minimum upside target. And here what happened is Meta shot higher. So you can see that it accelerated pace on January 30th, continued higher after pausing just briefly, and it wiped out a few things. So I'm just updating this chart with you here fresh. So let's do this together. So first I'm going to take off this Fibonacci retracement, which is actually Gann 8 levels, because we've wiped out all those levels. I don't need that anymore. I'm also going to remove the levels that were taken out of resistance. 149.60 here, 155.91 end up being gapped above. 171.31 or 39 was cleared, 183.85 cleared. So it fell short of 202.03, which is a level that I gave to folks when I gave them this forecast. So now where are we? Well, we have been trading lower off of the high from February 2nd and giving back some of the gains that happened with this gap higher. Notice that the RSI power zones, my favorite momentum indicator, also went up into the bull resistance power zone and is now working off those overbought conditions. So doing this live with you here, meaning I'm not setting aside minutes or hours to do analysis, come back to you. I'm going to just show you what I see unfolding for Facebook. This is a taste of what we do in monthly group coaching live with members. So I now have a new resistance level to monitor. So I use blue horizontal lines for resistance. That's going to be here at precisely 197.16. I also have most recently a lower high at 181.51. That is a price high, and that's in my 3 types of highs: bar high, price high, swing high. All of that is in my beginner level education in my courses and in my ebooks. Now bringing this to the support levels, what's underneath the current price action, I'm going to lift up some of these levels. So I'm going to take the bottom pink line and I'm going to find the most recent support that unfolded. So I'm just doing this exercise. I'm not teaching you every single technique that I'm pulling out now, but I am systematically identifying supports and bringing these pink lines up to those levels. Now, it's pretty obvious to see that I'm attaching to one of these bar lows back here to pull the lines that I did already. But how do we treat gaps? So gaps are really awesome in that we can treat them like a candlestick, right? And I dig into that deep in my Gann Candlestick system, but I'm just going to show you again. Doing the analysis with you here live, I just moved this line to 153.58. So it's the high of the bar before the gap, okay? So now looking at where Meta is, I see that it is about in the middle of the gap, and that's an important potential support area. So what I'm going to do is actually measure that out and see what that precise level is, 166.87. So I'm going to add a new line at 166.87 so that I can monitor that close. And I'm going to bring in a couple more resistance levels. The lower price high here and the low of the February 14th range. So now I have the most recent support and resistance levels, and this will help me navigate what happens next. So to start with, the 166.87 is an important support. Given the pathway of momentum right now, I think there's a chance we get to 166.87 and maybe even nudge below it. But I wouldn't be too concerned about Meta in the big picture over a couple weeks or so, unless it came below 153.58. It comes back. If it comes back and closes the gap completely, then I'd be less excited about its near-term upside potential. So between 166.87 and 153.58, I expect there to be formation of a stabilization of price. Like the shares should bottom out and turn higher. I don't have a crystal ball. That's just what I likely see to happen based on the current momentum action. If that occurs, then the next upside target to determine that, I'm going to bring in more price history. And I'm going to create more resistance lines, adding in other important levels that I see. So again, I'm identifying these, but I'm just labeling them for you without explaining every single one. And the key level is here at 224.30, the high from May 4th. So if we're able to regroup between 166.87 and 153.58 with the RSI power zone staying at or above the bull support power zone, then it could mean that Meta is getting ready for our next big move higher into 224.30. Now, it's too early to say now when that might happen, right? Drawing a forecast for it. What I can do is monitor the price action, and if it starts to give me a price low, an area of support, and a new tradable kind of landing to measure from, then I can look at that next forecast. So that's what I'm going to keep an eye on. So hopefully it helped you to see me doing the analysis from scratch. Speaking of scratch, maybe you hear my throat. I just came back from out of town. It is a holiday weekend. And so I really am kind of just doing this with tired traveler eyes, but wanted to show you the systematic approach that you can still use. And we will see what unfolds with Meta. And I look forward to learning more about how I can get my verified account to be there in Facebook and Instagram with you all more. Catch you next time.